Welcome to your IELTS listening practice from Spinta.org. This is a mini-test designed to help you practice a specific section of the exam and improve your confidence. The recording will be played one time only, just like in the official test. Let's begin.
Hello everyone, today our discussion will revolve around a crucial topic in film studies: documentary ethics. This area of study looks at the moral responsibilities that filmmakers have when creating documentaries, especially concerning two complex subjects: subject consent and filmmaker intervention. This lecture will guide you through the ethical implications that arise from documentary filmmaking, helping you understand the importance of consent, the nature of filmmaker intervention, and the consequences that stem from these practices. To begin, let's define what we mean by documentary ethics. It encompasses the principles and guidelines that filmmakers must consider to ensure they are representing their subjects truthfully and fairly. A significant aspect of this is the notion of subject consent, which refers to the agreement of individuals featured in a documentary to participate in the filming and sharing of their stories. This usually involves obtaining informed consent, which is an ethical obligation that filmmakers must adhere to. Informed consent means that the subject should fully understand what they are consenting to, including how their images and stories will be used. For instance, a documentary project may involve co-creating narratives with the subjects, which requires a high level of dialogue and mutual understanding. Thus, obtaining consent is not only a legal necessity, but it also aligns with ethical filmmaking practices. Let's delve deeper into the concept of consent. When documentary filmmakers approach a subject, it is vital that they clarify why they are making the film, and outline how the subject will be portrayed. Misrepresentations or misunderstandings can lead to ethical dilemmas, especially if a subject feels exploited, misled, or is unaware of the potential repercussions of their participation. For example, consider the documentary, The Act of Killing, which focuses on former Indonesian death squad leaders. The filmmakers engaged these individuals in reenacting their real-life atrocities, without initial full disclosure of how their actions would be construed. This led to questions over whether informed consent was genuinely obtained, raising concerns about exploitation and manipulation. Moving on to the second central theme of this lecture: filmmaker intervention. This refers to the manner in which filmmakers choose to engage with their subjects during the documentary shooting process. Some filmmakers adopt a participatory approach, where they actively involve themselves in the narrative, while others may choose to remain behind the camera. Filmmaker intervention can impact the authenticity of the narrative being presented. On the one hand, intervention can enrich the storytelling experience by adding depth and perspective. On the other hand, it risks depicting a distorted reality. An evident example is seen in the film, Won't You Be My Neighbor?, which is a documentary about Fred Rogers of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood fame. The filmmakers had an emotional investment in portraying Rogers. Their perspective fundamentally shaped how audiences perceive him. The ethical ramifications of filmmaker intervention prompt critical questions about accuracy and authenticity. When a filmmaker imposes their narrative or vision onto a subject's story, the potential for distortion exists. For instance, the blending of dramatization with factual storytelling can create a misleading impression if not properly contextualized. In cases where filmmakers aim to provoke emotional responses through intervention, scrutiny arises regarding the authenticity of that depiction. Here, it is important to identify the relationship between consent and intervention. Although filmmakers may obtain consent from subjects, the approach they take throughout the filmmaking process may overshadow that consent. An ethically sound practice involves continual engagement with the subjects throughout the production, ensuring that they are comfortable with how their portrayal is evolving. To illustrate, let's consider the documentary, Super Size Me, where filmmaker Morgan Spurlock explicitly chose to experiment with fast food consumption to critique the industry. While he obtained consent from the establishments he filmed, his participatory experimentation raised ethical questions about how much intervention is too much, and whether his decisions influenced the subjects, thus affecting their autonomy. An additional ethical consideration in documentary filmmaking is the role of the viewer and audience engagement. Documentaries not only aim to inform but can also shape the viewer's perspective. The choices made by filmmakers regarding what to show and how can create powerful narratives that might lead audiences to form opinions or take action. For example, the choice to spotlight particular stories or voices while marginalizing others can create a narrative twist that influences public perception. Viewers might feel inclined to adopt the filmmaker's slant, thus raising concerns about how subjects are portrayed and the potential for distortion that accompanies selective presentation. With the rise of digital technology and platforms, filmmakers have both the opportunity and the responsibility to balance authenticity with the storytelling craft. They can dynamically edit or respond to the unfolding narrative in real time, which can lead to discrepancies between the original subject's intent and the final product. In summary, the ethics of documentary filmmaking is driven by the careful negotiation of consent, the impact of filmmaker intervention, and the relationship these have with audience perception. The evolving landscape of technology presents new challenges regarding how these ethical considerations are navigated. With greater access to media, many individuals are becoming more media literate and critical thinkers, capable of evaluating documentaries with a discerning eye. In conclusion, it is essential for filmmakers to reflect on the ethical implications of their work. They must strive to maintain an ethical framework that respects subjects' autonomy, while engaging in creative storytelling. As audiences, remaining critical of the narratives presented before us ensures that we foster healthy discussions surrounding authenticity, representation, and the power dynamics inherent in documentary filmmaking. Thank you for your attention.
You have now completed the practice test. When you are ready for a full exam experience, visit us at Spinta.org. There you will find complete mock tests for all 4 skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Our platform provides instant AI feedback for your speaking and writing tasks, along with an accurate prediction of your band score. Take control of your preparation at Spinta.org.